All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Philip Zamora from Trusted Hearing Center, and I have with me a representative from Unitron today, Shawn Anderson. How you doing, Shawn?
Doing great, Philip. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. So you just drove in from where?
I just came in from North Carolina just to see you
North
today.
Carolina, man.
When you're as important as you are, Philip, I had to make the drive.
Well, you beat Oklahoma, so now you're the farthest to come. So thank you very much. Just to talk to my audience here.
Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. So we're here to talk about the new Unitron DX Move. The Move platform, is that correct?
Yeah, it's called the Discover Next platform.
Discover Next platform.
The Moxie Move is our newest, smallest rechargeable RIC that we just offered that has made for all Bluetooth connectivity.
Okay.
So
we'll get there.
About it. We'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself.
So the Next platform, which you're building upon the previous platform, which was just the Discover platform.
Just the Discover, correct.
And so you've added a lot of really cool new features to that Next platform that builds upon it. It was already a good hearing aid. Yes. I already liked to fit it, had a lot of good features, and so this now is just building on top of it and giving me some new features to play with, and the patients a lot of new features as well.
Correct. Yeah. And that's one reason why we called it Discover Next and didn't change the platform entirely.
Right.
Because Discover was already an amazing product.
Right.
With the way that we had built it, we added a couple more features that patients have really needed that we'll talk about a little bit. The soft speech lift, the spectral speech, to kind of take that environment to the next level.
Yeah.
So super excited about it. I mean, we've had a lot of really good success, and again, it's just great for the patients to have that next great hearing aid.
Right. And I also, so let's go ahead and start with what kind of made those changes, influenced those changes a little bit, which was the pandemic. So one of the cool features that you added was the remote adjust.
Yes, 100%.
Which is really good for me and for the patients.
Correct.
So talk about kind of how that came around and how are people doing with that so far?
Doing really well. And just like you said, Philip, the pandemic has made a lot of changes to all of our lives.
Right.
And one of those is people not able to get out and about to come to see you in person to make those adjustments they need to be made.
Yeah.
So Unitron has actually just recently added that remote adjust to allow those patients to be able to have their hearing aids adjusted, but in the safety and comfort of their own home for the time being.
Yeah.
Our goal is eventually, we want them to come see you, but the next best thing is to have you available telehealth-wise doing this online, so they can still experience that amazing hearing environment without having to go weeks and weeks without coming to see you because they're afraid of the lockdowns or the pandemic or getting sick.
Right.
Now
or out of town.
Or out of town.
Too far away.
And it's great because it's literally done, right through the remote app on the cell phone. So you can plug in, and as soon as you make changes to their hearing aids, it'll pop up on their cell phone that there's an update. They hit update, and they're good to go.
Right.
So it really is a neat.
I actually like the feature because it when I send the update, it shows up with a little red dot, and then it guides them through where they need to go, and then the button that they need to press is very simple, and you press it and it takes a couple of seconds to upload the update into the hearing aids without you having to connect any cables or anything, which is amazing.
Correct.
And it's just a really simple way to give a quick adjustment for them until they can come in.
Exactly. And that's one thing I think, like you said, is easy. One thing with the Unitron platform is I love the fact that they've made everything easy for you, as a provider, to fit the product in a few easy steps, easy to adjust it for the patients. So our whole goal is to give them an easy and amazing sound experience without having to go through a lot of, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
This is a nice, easy first fit, nice, easy remote adjust. Yeah. Really kind of gives you the ability to really give the patients the care and the hearing that they came to you for.
Right.
So
really
excited about it.
So the Discover platform, I liked it because, well, number one, it brought around the built-in lithium-ion batteries, and then just the clear, crisp sound as well. So I've worn them. My dad actually currently wears Unitron, for a couple of different reasons that we'll get to, but it has a clear sound that is pretty unique, and it's not the same as some other manufacturers. So there is a big difference with that.
There is.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love when you mentioned that clear sound. And we'll probably get into it later, but it kind of has to do with, our signal processing, our sound nav, which actually is our, world-class, classification algorithm that allows these patients to constantly be blending different environments.
Right.
So when they go from one environment to the next, it's seamless. We actually use artificial intelligence, machine learning to really, for the past decade, to train the hearing aids to think and act like a human. So as you and me with normal hearing walk into a room, the patients that have had hearing loss have that same experience.
Okay.
Which I just love it.
And that's why I've heard hear like a 20-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is. I mean, it's a great sound quality, and that's why they liken it to that. And I think they have studies on that, right?
They do, and that's one thing that's because I know I've mentioned to you before. Sonica 20. One thing I love about Unitron and I love about our products is, there's been a lot of studies done on our products. White papers are done, but they're done by third parties. We had one done by the University of South Florida that looked at all the manufacturers, and they compared them to that of a young, normal 20-year-old with normal hearing. And they looked at the different classifications, different environments, and it showed that Unitron more closely mimics that of a normal 20-year-old with normal hearing. So although, as you get older, you can't get back your hair, your good knees, but we can give them back the hearing they had when they were younger.
Right.
And that's one thing I love about these aids is they really do. A lot of other manufacturers will look at, some features. I love that Unitron focuses on the hearing and the hearing experience in literally every environment. There's not an environment you can walk into with Unitron where you're not going to have a natural, comfortable, seamless conversation.
Yeah. And hearing like you used to.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's look at a couple of the core features here.
Yes.
So we're going to look at, let's see, sound core. So that's the overall. Is that the overlapping technology that Unitron uses?
Yeah. Soundcore, great question, Philip. Soundcore is actually the highly intelligent signal processing system that lives inside the Unitron hearing aid in the Discover Next platform, kind of enabling that just amazing hearing experience. And Soundcore is actually made up of 4 different life-changing features. One is SoundNav 3.0. One is going to be Sound Conductor. 3 is Spatial Awareness. And then our most powerful feature is Speech Pro. And together, they work together to give your patients the most amazing experiences, literally in every environment, in every situation, every time.
Yeah. And they all have kind of different things that add to the overall experience. So I know that, let's see, the Speech Pro, which is really good in helping the wearer hear better in noisy environments, and picking out that speech.
Correct. One thing with the Speech Pro, it's our most powerful platform, because it's designed for those environments that are hard. It's the conversations in loud groups that most patients avoid going to because they just can't hear in there. With what we do with Speech Pros, we actually break them into 4 parts, which I love. One is the speech locator. We actually use a microphone from both ears to find the speech. Speech focus actually takes and directs the focal area to the speech, with spatial speech actually recognizes and localizes cues. So that way you're actually pinpointing on you. And then our newest feature is called Spectral Speech, which I love. Spectral Speech actually was designed to help clients better understand words and emotions, but also adds a 360-degree hearing environment.
Yeah.
As you know, with a lot of hearing aids, we have what's called the cone effect. So where you look is where the hearing aids are going to hear. And what I love about this is
kind of like blinders.
Like
on a horse.
It's kind of like, when you put your dog comes back from the vet and they have a little cone. That's literally how hearing aids work. It's, if you're talking to me over here, I can slightly hear it, but I have to turn my head to fully understand. With Speech Pro and with our Spectral Speech, great example for me is my stepfather. He had used a couple of their manufacturers, and 2 complaints. One was he was having a difficult with my mom's soft voice, and 2 is they walk a couple miles a day, and while they were walking, he would hold her hand and have to watch her to listen. With the Unitron and the 9 level at the Spectral Speech, he can look straight ahead, hold her hand, hear her perfectly, and walk. And
like natural,
like just natural,
right.
like you and me would. Not that I want to hold your hand, but if we did, I wouldn't have to turn to look
right.
at you. And literally, we've had, providers and patients say that they've closed their eyes and they've had their spouse walk around them, and they can literally tell where their loved one is without turning their head. And that's all the time. And
being able to pinpoint where those sounds are coming from.
Yes.
People don't realize that, with hearing loss, that diminishes. And so, with the more severe hearing loss, it becomes a little bit harder to pinpoint where the sounds are coming from if you don't have that help from the hearing aid.
100%. And we call that spatial awareness. And we actually have 4 microphones that picks that up to kind of get back those naturalized cues that you lose when you have the hearing loss. So, for me, it's exciting to promote this product.
Right.
Because as you'll probably see in the video, I'll get kind of excited once in a while. And if I talk too fast, I'm going to slow down because, it's just amazing what we can do for these patients and some of the stuff that they're not used to going to. A lot of patients stop going to family reunions or to church because they don't want to go to the socials because they're really struggling in those kind of conversations, where now we can give them back the part of their life that they've literally missed for years and years. And you see people that have, not been going out, when they start to see how well these work and they do truly and naturally sound like they used to sound, they start getting back to their normal life after the pandemic.
And add activities and things like that.
Activities increase. It's just, it really is quite an amazing feature to have. And that's, one thing I mentioned earlier too, is we talked about is, we had a new feature called Soft Speech Lift, which is also one of my favorite. Because what it does, it works in the quieter environments. So under 55 decibels, it actually increases the voice, but keeps the noise down. A lot of aids will have what they call a soft speech lift, but it'll lift everything. So if the fan's going and someone's talking, it'll raise both. Same volume. Yeah. So what we do is we actually work on what's called the second, third formants of speech, which, as kind of brings out the intonation and the meaning behind words. Right. When you have hearing loss, you kind of miss some of those cues that you get. I kind of explain it like this. If I send you a text saying, Philip, I got a haircut, that's what hearing people get. Right. Now, if I send you one that says, Philip, I got I got a haircut, and I have a frowny face, you know that I'm not happy about my haircut. Or in other ways, with a happy face. So that's what this does with the hearing. It brings back that meaning and intonation behind it, and then also raises up that soft speech. Yeah. So people can hear their grandkids. They can hear the excitement behind their voices. They can hear the tenderness in the conversations with their spouse. Right. I mean, when I say it does just amazing things, it really does. It's a lot. It does. It's an amazing computer. And that's kind of what makes it different than some of the things that you can buy online or the over-the-counter things. Is when you get into those more complex situations, or even a quiet situation with the fan going. I mean, it's going to make a huge difference with that. It does, because what people don't understand a lot of times they're looking at hearing online, or when you have a TV going, a fan going, a cat, and someone talking, what happens with most hearing aids is it brings those sounds together in a term that we call internalization. So you really don't know where things are. So we have what's called spatial awareness. So it actually puts things in their perceived spots. Right. So you put on the Unitron hearing aids, TV's here, cat's here, fans here, person's here. Cat's lowered, fans lowered, TV's lowered, voice is expanded. Yeah. So you can really, truly, understand and hear. Which is what you want. Which is what you want, And you may want to hear your cat, but not as loud as you hear the person you're speaking to. Exactly. That's again, that's where you get a lot of the people that have hearing aids or lower ends are especially, some of these over the counter,
Right.
They're really just an amplification.
Yeah. And mixing everything together.
They're
When you
mixing everything
have
together.
more than a mild hearing loss, I mean, that really doesn't do you any help or any good at all.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I would wear one because I have normal hearing if I want to spy on somebody, maybe a little amplification, but
Right.
People that have, a mild hearing loss, moderate to severe,
We'll definitely notice the difference.
They'll definitely notice the difference
and appreciate it.
100%.
Let's look at the products here. So y'all did one great thing about the new rechargeable product. You can't really tell here, but it is small. And it's y'all's smallest rechargeable, correct?
It's our smallest lithium-ion rechargeable receiver in a canal, and it is very small.
Yeah.
We've actually have won some awards on the design of the hearing aid for its fit and design.
Y'all have won a lot of awards for the design.
We have.
Yeah.
I mean, we they designed a nice hearing
aid. They look good. Let me show you here if you can see. So this is the size of the rechargeable. So this is non-T-coil. The T-coil is a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger.
T-coil's a tad bit bigger.
And then just the way it fits on the ear, there's a lot of real estate being taken up now with masks and glasses. And so it's really not very big at all. And then the rechargeability of it, how long does that last?
Great question. It lasts a full 24 hours. If you're a heavy streamer, because again, our aids are made for all,
right?
So both Android and Apple. So if you do a lot of streaming, like a lot of us do that are on the road, talking on the phone nonstop, listening to podcasts, you get about a good 16 hours of if you're doing some heavy streaming.
And if you have the TV connector at home and you're streaming the TV directly into the hearing aids, which is possible.
Correct.
That's going to drain a little bit, but not overly.
Yeah. If you're looking at a normal average human being that, streams, phone calls and audiobooks and TV connectors, you're looking at a good 16 hours.
Yeah.
If you do very little, you get a full 24 hours. People always ask why we didn't go over 24 hours, but I think, as a provider, if you tell somebody 36 hours, they'll push the 36 hours and get them fully charged.
Yeah.
So kind of gives us that safety net of, put them on the charger at night, take them out in the morning, you'll be good to go.
And let's also wanted to, you released in the ear on this same platform, correct?
Super excited about that, especially right now with, like you mentioned, wearing masks.
There we go.
We've had a lot of requests for this just because it's, again, it fits in the ear nice and easy. It's got the DX platform, so it's going to have the soft speech lift. It's going to have the spectral speech, all in the ear.
Right. And it's Bluetooth.
It is.
Bluetooth to, and so for the Bluetooth, for the next platform and the previous platform, Discover, was Bluetooth to all, made for all Bluetooth, which means that streaming to almost any device that has Bluetooth. 100%. So that means Android devices. That means iPhone devices. It doesn't matter which one. It's going to be able to stream, and that means phone calls and any kind of media,
any kind of music, podcasts.
Yeah.
And one thing I love too is, as you know from the fitting software, there's a spot on there that actually you can check the cell phone compatibility.
Yeah.
And stepfather, loving to death, still has a flip phone.
Yeah.
Will not get it. I can't buy him one. His flip phone actually connects to the Discover Next.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Yeah. I've fit some patients with flip phones and it works perfectly. I mean, and the other thing I like about it is the True Hands Free, which is something that there's only 2 brands that can do it. And they're kind of under the same umbrella.
Yeah,
but Unitron is hands-free, completely hands-free, which means that you can answer the phone with the hearing aid. Correct. And as long as the hearing aid is within Bluetooth distance, you can just start talking.
I love it. I love that because especially in today's day and age with driving, and also it works in both ears. So you're getting that conversation in both ears, not just one.
Right.
So it really helps those conversations with that. But yes, cell phone rings. It's in your purse. It's on the dash as you're driving.
Yeah. Or you can't find it.
You can't find it.
Can't find it in the house. It'll alert you to know that it's ringing, and then you can just. That's exactly why my dad likes it, is because he can leave it in the kitchen. His phone starts ringing. He doesn't have to rush back, which normally he would miss that call.
Correct.
He can just press the button on top of the hearing aid and answer that call and just start talking, because it uses the microphone on top of the hearing aid.
Yes.
Instead of using the microphone on the phone, which is different than the other brands that are not true hands-free.
True. Correct. And what I love is just, the ease of use with it, and just the, other brands, in order to get to an Android, they got to wear a streamer.
Yeah. A different device.
Right. Again, with ours being made for all, it's just convenient. So whether you have an Android, an Apple, a flip phone, and also we can connect to more than one device. So you can connect to your Android phone, your iPad, so you can be streaming, podcasts, your iPad, answer your phone on your Apple, on your other phone,
right?
Which is really nice.
And it can connect to, was that 4 devices? I mean, it can be connected to and switch between those 4 devices.
So you're looking at an Android phone, an Apple TV connector, so it is nice. Yeah. It really is nice to give those patients that freedom to have.
Right.
I only have one phone, so I don't need much, but it is really a nice thing, and it's nice to have those in all the lines. So anywhere from in the canal all the way to our behind the ear, our RIC. Love the fact that they're made for all. They're hands free, which
and then answering from the hearing aid also, you can do that from the custom as well with the button.
True.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Which is also another unique feature. So that's what when I have a patient that comes in with an Android phone, I mean, it's a no-brainer to go with Unitron, because that connectivity is extremely hard to beat. Not only that, I mean, that's secondary, but the sound quality is extremely good.
It is.
So in addition to, they don't have to sacrifice sound quality for connectivity or product lineup or rechargeability, because it pretty much has it all. And if you need a T-coil, then you go to the T-coil version as well.
And again, T-coil is great because a lot of places now, churches and entertainment centers have the T-coil, so it's great to have that loop. And again, you mentioned the sound quality. That's one thing I love. Kind of piggyback off on that for is, we kind of mentioned before here like a 20-year-old, and that's actually from our SoundNav 3.0, and what that does is actually classifies 7 different environments. So you're going to have your quiet conversations in quiet. Conversations in a small group, conversations in a crowd, conversations in noise and music.
Right.
And what it does is it actually thinks like a human, but blends those together. So there's thousands of different combinations it can have. And at Unitron, they're smart people. They did the math, and there's 3,711 plus 1 actual blending environments in our hearing aids. So that's why you're really getting this smooth, easy, amazing hearing. Because some hearing aids, they talk about when they go to different environments, there may be a click, there may be a delay. This is just as seamless as you and me walking. We can walk into dinner tonight, loud music, go to quiet, and as quick as our ears adjust, the hearing aids adjust, because we're really taught and trained to think and act like a human. It's amazing what they've done with hearing aids now, looking at
smart computers.
Back when they first started, they amplified.
Right.
And then it was amazing when they came out with, Bluetooth, and then the features they come out with really just, it's amazing what they can do. I mean, it really is life-changing for a lot of patients to have that,
that ability.
Ability. And again, too, I always tell people our hearing aids are really only as great as you are. Because as you know, we appreciate what you do. Because in order to get that sound quality, it takes a good first fit, and then making those adjustments.
Right.
And what I love about Unitron is kind of helping you make those adjustments. As you know, we use the Log It All. We use what we call insights. So patients can actually, when they're at home, if they're having a good experience and or a bad experience, they can go on their cell phone and do a smiley face, frowny face. And if they're having issues in certain environments, once there's 3, you get kind of a
notification.
Saying, hey, Shawn is complaining about conversation and noise. So that way we can get the patient back in make some minor adjustments to those environments and keep them happy. So it's really a nice way for the patient and the provider
stay connected
constantly. So that way, you know, if they don't like them, if they're not working, even though they paid for them,
right?
Like my stepfather, he took them off and didn't wear them because they weren't working.
Which should never be the case.
It should never be the case. Yeah. Never do that. Come back and see Philip.
Let's talk about the levels of technology.
Sure.
So there's 4. The very top, the 9 level, 7, 5, and 3. And another great thing that I like about the platform is being available at the lower levels. Those lower level hearing aids, I would hesitate to call them lower level because they're very good. Even at the 3 level, the bottom level provides such a clear quality sound that it for the price, at least here, I mean, it's a really, really good hearing aid to fit for the price that you pay for it.
It is. It's really good. And you mentioned our lower level 3. You know, we have 12 channels in our lower 3. We have 14 in our 5, 16 in our 7, and 20 in our 9s. So that's pretty good for what you consider a lower level hearing aid. And our 3s are still made for all, still Bluetooth connectivity. Really good for somebody with a really mild loss, you know. But I do like the fact that it has a lot of things, especially here in Texas. You know, it has wind control at that level. Most other hearing aids have it in the upper levels, which you walk around Texas, the wind blows.
Right. Yeah.
Not the best experience to be in. Unitron actually at our 3 level has the wind control to kind of block that out. So it really is
comfortable listening. And then another unique thing about Unitron is you can start at the 3, and then after you purchase, you can upgrade, which is unique to only Unitron. And it's really, you're at a 3, you start becoming more active. You join a polka dancing club, and you start going to Tuesday night meetings at Longhorn Steakhouse, where it's noisier, and you think you need more noise reduction, you need more from the hearing aid, or your hearing decreases a little bit, then what can you do? I mean, with other hearing aids, you can't really do it. You're kind of stuck with the hearing aid until you maybe trade it in and get another one.
Trade
with
it
Unitron
and spend more money. That's literally, like you mentioned earlier, I drove from North Carolina here. I'm actually moved to Texas. I'm just back there for a little bit of time during the pandemic. But I moved to Texas from North Carolina for Unitron because of what they do. Nothing better than a patient coming in and having the ability to start off at a level that, you know, 1, they think they need right now, or 2, that they can afford right now. So many people leave going, I can't afford this price, but they do need amplification. They do need some hearing. So if we can start them off at a lower level technology and then upgrade them later through a firmware update, it just helps the patient have that hearing aid. For me, also a lot longer. You know,
I like it because they're not stuck.
They're not
stuck with 3 level. I mean, it's as simple as you tell me that you're needing, you know, better technology or a higher level of technology. You come in, you pay whatever the upgrade level is, and it's a software update. I hook them up to my computer. I upgrade you to the next level of technology, whatever you need at that time, and it's applied to your hearing aid. And you don't have to go buy another hearing aid because you need a higher level of technology, which is something only Unitron does.
And one thing I like about that too, like you mentioned, setting it up, you can actually set it up temporarily.
So they can trial it.
So they can do like a 2-3 weeks.
And see if
it really does make a
difference.
Again, that way they don't have to come in and give you money. They can try it for 2-3 weeks, come back and say, yes, Philip, what you recommended in different levels is what I need. And if they say this is just fine, there's a win-win either way. You know, your patients are happy because you care, you're there for them. The patient is happy because they get the best device for the price and for their environments.
And what they need at the time.
Because we really do find out, that's why Unitron does it, is so many patients come in because from years and years of hearing loss have kind of become recluse. They're not going out as much. And like you mentioned, they start hearing better. They start doing the polkas, the Longhorn Steakhouses. and they start becoming more active because now they don't have to say what constantly, and they can feel more comfortable in those conversations.
Right.
And then when they realize they can do more, then they want more from here because they're going to go into more difficult environments. And to me, that's what I really love about Unitron. That also, and the fact that, we have the flex trials.
Yes. Yeah.
I think when I was a consultant for many years prior, I worked with audiologists nationwide. And one reason I kind of fell in love with Unitron was that reason. We can kind of see what tech level they want, and that way they can kind of get them set.
Yep.
And, it's a lot less pressure,
right?
A lot easier for them to do.
So if you come in and let's say at this point, you want to see what the 3 does for you. And if it's good for your environments, then I can program the 3s in these demos here for you to trial. And we do a week for you to take them out in your environments and trial them. If you think you need more from the hearing aid, more performance, then I can upgrade those to a 5 or 7 or a 9, and you can trial the levels and pick which one is best for your lifestyle, because really you're the only one that knows what your lifestyle specifically is. True. I can make some recommendations, but there's nothing better than you wearing them in those situations.
I think so too. I mean, really, I agree with you 100%. We're in those trials for a week.
Yeah.
And really encourage.
They should do that with cars, by the way.
I wish they would.
It's pretty unique. I mean, being able to take them and trial them. I mean,
it does.
You don't know what you need till you actually try it. Yeah.
And that's where Unitron really steps above. And Sonova steps above is, again, we want this to be best for the patients. Honestly.
Yeah.
We don't want to kind of hand tie you to say you have to sell this and push this. We want the customer to say, this is what I need. Help me get it.
Right.
And one thing I love too is, I always tell patients and providers is when they're wearing the flex trials, I encourage them to get out places they really haven't been and really see what it's like. Because one thing I love about, the machine learning and the artificial intelligence is when they come back, you have the log and all data.
Yeah.
So you can really have a better discussion about, tell me more about these situations. Your conversations and noise. Where was it? How did it go? What happened? And it's kind of a lot easier for them to say, loved it, I need this, or I want to hire because I want to do more of this.
Right.
Do really love Unitron for the fact that, they really put the patients first and the providers first.
Yeah.
And, I kind of, really follow, I think Unitron follows Zig Ziglar's saying is, if we can help enough people get what they want, we'll get what we want.
Yeah.
And that's really the philosophy that we have. Reese Lawley, my boss, that's one thing he always says. If I can help Philip, get his patients the flex trials and help them upgrade and give them good service, we'll get what we want.
Right.
And that's really why I love, in all my years, I've never worked for a company that I feel cares as much about their customers as Unitron does. Yeah. Most places, you need them. We need you.
Right.
It's a whole different thing. We're here for you. We want to serve you so that you can help these patients hear better.
Right.
Love it.
And that's exactly why we provide those trial periods, and that's for any level of technology. If you say I want to stay at this price and this technology level for now, and I want to take them out and see if they actually work for me, then I'll let you do that. Go ahead. I mean, we are here to help you. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and talking about the DX move.
Yes.
The next
platform. Talking about next, I got what people were talking about. I was thinking about your car ID to go rent a car for.
That's right.
I'm sorry, my brain was kind of like, where are we right now?
If you have any questions for me, give me a call or email me. You have any questions for Shawn as well, I can get in contact with him and easily answer your questions. We have plenty of trials here. Don't go buy a hearing aid without trialing it. Try it and see what the difference is. If you're in hearing aids currently, then you can come trial them and compare the two and see if that upgrade makes sense for you and your situations. I'm going to put our information down here. You can go on our website, trustedhearingcenter.org, and see actually all of our prices and the levels of technology that we offer. We're very upfront and honest with our pricing. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
I looked at your website. I love the fact that you're that open and upfront.
Thank you.
It really shows that you're truly here to help them.
You're gonna make me get on my soapbox. The reason I do that is because as a consumer, I get on a website and I don't see prices. It makes me leave, and so I don't even consider that.
Well, a lot of people really are afraid of what the price is going to be.
Yeah.
They're thinking, $10,000.
Right.
So
which some people do charge, which you should never pay.
Yes.
By the way,
I'm glad he followed up with that.
Yeah. Walking in here into my office is never going to be a trap for you, and that's why I put my prices on my website. Is because it should never be a trap to come and get help for hearing healthcare. You should never be stuck in a room until you say yes. And that's why I do the trial periods, because I want you to be comfortable with whatever you're picking and know how much it's going to cost before you get there. And if you find anything cheaper, by the way, we can probably match that price or beat it.
With Unitron, we'll help you.
Yeah, thank you.
But that's one of the reasons that we work with Philip as much as we do, because we're really looking at providers that are honest and upfront and are truly there to help the patients. So, thank you for having me. Thank you for, promoting, Unitron with their patients.
Yeah, absolutely.
We really do truly appreciate all that you do for us, all you do for the patients, and all you do for the hearing industry.
Well, thank you.
You're awesome.
Have a safe drive back to. Are you driving back?
I'm heading back Friday.
Okay.
So
we'll have a safe drive.
I will.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Like I said, go to our website for more information. You can also give me a call, 512-357-8000. Thank you.